Here's how I built lead generation and sales infrastructures utilizing AI and paid ads for hundreds of multi-seven-figure businesses in the last 12 months. Now, those so-called AI infrastructures generated results like this or that for our different clients at both the agency and the consulting side of our business. Now, if you're like me, you've been seeing that this space has been rapidly moving towards an AI-centric market, which meant that for me personally, I wanted to be the first one to replace myself. I didn't want to wait for technology nor other software companies to be the ones putting me out of business. I'd rather be the one integrating AI into our processes and using as much of it as possible to speed up our work. Because I honestly strongly believe that this AI race brings us to a place in the market where if you're just starting out, I mean, AI can probably do a better job than you. If you're intermediate, anybody with the proper infrastructure can outperform you, and only expert level individuals can be the ones in the position to deploy so-called infrastructures. But we have a 3 to 5 year ahead of us where this sort of marketing middle class of people can still thrive while implementing as much of AI as possible into their processes. And so my goal in this video is to somewhat document, but also share with you my thought process as to how we've been integrating AI into our business practices and how you can do the same for yours. So first and foremost, I've come to realize something in this space that was very obvious to me, but I realized wasn't so obvious to most in this space, which is the importance of focusing on infrastructures rather than workflows or goal-specific tasks or services. Let me give you a simple example of that. There's a rise of lead generation agencies a couple years back, and I'm talking mainly about those ad agencies coming out of all the various programs out there. Would it be programs from Iman, from Jordan Platten, from any guy in the space essentially that helped create ad agencies? People were use case specific. They'd run, say, Facebook ads for local businesses in order to help them generate more leads, and that was it. But the truth is that's very easily replaceable because I need, as a business, shorter leads, but then I need more than leads to be able to work those leads, to be able to qualify those leads, to be able to close those leads, and to be able to service those leads. So leads in themselves are worthless. And it's incredibly easy then for someone who's proficient at AI to replace one part of my process rather than an entire infrastructure. So this is gonna get clearer, I think, as the video goes on, but let me give you a second example of that. Right now, in the overall AI agent race that people are going for, you hear a lot of people building use case specific AI workflows. So an example of that is I'll build you an AI customer support bot to help you answer queries from your customers. Okay, great, but that's one part of my business, right? It's like, I need more than that to actually grow my business. Like, I need to have leads coming in, sales coming in, so that people then therefore have questions so that they can use this customer support bot. So this only works for very advanced companies. And so my point here is that most solutions offered in the online space were very targeted to advanced individuals. Like, you had to either be enterprise grade or at least be doing multi-7 or 8, even 9 figures in order to have the money to invest into said solutions. And the ones that didn't, say local lead gen ad agencies, were, charging pennies and honestly eating scraps at the end of the day, barely profitable and holding on to try and not churn out more than 2 to 3 months out of a lifetime value of keeping on a client. But there have been so many examples of churn and burn agencies in the lead gen space, and I'm not gonna name any names, but I've seen very popular guru in this space who now suddenly converted back to Christ, you could say, and stopped their agency, which was in the real estate space, but flunked essentially because of the churn and burn model. Like, we're closing a fuck ton of clients, looks sexy on the back end, but nobody would stick longer than 2 to 3 months because there's no delivery. Like, no one was gonna get actual results at scale working with these guys. You'd be surprised, having spent 5 to 10 years in this space, realizing how many businesses look good on the outside but truly aren't in the back end. Like, there's actually no profit left at the end of the day. Customers are unhappy and they're always a week or two out from being out of business. Incredibly stressful businesses to run. So with time, I started wondering, like, what separates a thriving online service-based business, say an ad agency, any sort of agencies for that matter, any sort of online service provider, so coaches, consultants, info product businesses for the most part. This somewhat applies to e-commerce also, slightly less so, but still, I'm pretty sure if that's you, you might still get value out of, what's being discussed today. You need to understand, like, you need to get good at business to be good at business. And this sounds incredibly simple, but what I realize is that if I wanted to make the most impact in our clients, say an info product client, I can't just come in and run ads, because the truth was that most of our clients always had bottlenecks beyond ads. Like, ads is just putting a lot of water pressure inside of a bucket. That bucket could be great or could be leaky. Most of the time it's leaky. And so anytime we started running ads or scaling ads for our clients, it just exposed other underlying issues in the business. And so most commonly, those issues were either issues in the funnels in themselves. So funnels, landing pages, not converting, conversion rates low, or AOV is low, or something's wrong with the funnel in itself. So that's issue number one. Issue number two was for info product or coaching businesses, as an example, was the sales processes. So appointment setters, not booking enough appointments, not doing enough dials, not following up enough with the leads, time to lead not being tracked at all, or sales processes. So leads aren't being closed, show up rate is incredibly low, there's no back end to like nurture the leads before they come on the calls. So all of that put together, that's like two extra areas of improvement. So we have funnels, we have setting processes, we have sales processes, and then we also had product, which that in itself, it's either, and product I'm going to divide into two subcategories. There's product market fit from an offer standpoint. Does the market even want the way the offer is being positioned? Which I honestly truly believe there's a lack of true understanding about product positioning in this space at times, which I'll get back to in a bit. And the second portion of that is just purely delivery. Like, are people actually getting what they paid for? And as I explained earlier, this might sound very obvious, but it's not the case for most ad agencies. Most info product businesses, people are underwhelmed by the quality of the core product they're receiving in the back end. Very hard to have a high NPS score, if that's even a metric that you track with your business, as an example, in this space. But nonetheless, people need infrastructures for more than just one thing. And being use case specific, say you're just a sales manager, say you're just an ad agency, say you're just someone who comes in and builds a customer support agent, or somebody who comes in and builds like a systems for project management for a business. It's like, hence why I'm talking to any sort of service providers. You do not have what it takes to retain a customer. And that is, if you want to charge anything worth your time or worth your team's time or worth your expertise, you don't have what it takes if you just are use case specific. And so that's why we've pivoted to selling AI-powered infrastructures that I call now. So what we started doing is, for our clients, we would build playbooks, but also ready to use infrastructures or snapshots or workflows for them to just copy and paste into their businesses. So great example about that. Clients always struggle with appointment setting. So we're like, great, well, let's build a 300-step workflow for AI appointment setting. Let's make it easy for us to customize, and just whenever we have a client come in and have that specific problem, we're just going to implement that into their business as a ready-to-use system and tweak it to be done for them. Great. Now, client doesn't have proper sales tracking in place. Amazing. Well, we have our own sales tracker. Let's implement it into their business. Now, they don't have a winning sales script. It's totally fine. We have an AI agent trained on helping them close more deals and set, better meetings and rework their processes. And we can consult them on that. Perfect. Let's implement them, this agent, if ever they need help with sales. Oh, it's a funnel help? No worries. We've built a library of funnels and ready to use templates that we know convert on our side. And guess what? We have a team of in-house copywriters that can just help them and implement this side of their business. And it's so I'm thinking about business now in a much different way as we were back then, where we kind of have built with time expertise in areas beyond just paid ads, and have built either playbooks or infrastructures that we can then just deploy into our clients' businesses based on their needs. So I almost kind of see it as you're coming to a body shop to customize your car, and you have a hood and perhaps different doors and different trims and different wheels and different tires, and all of these things are available to you. And it's like, well, what does your car need to ride better, right? Well, it doesn't push enough horsepower. Okay, great. Well, we're going to do a tuning as an example. Well, it isn't, I don't have enough backfires and whatever. Well, great. We're going to, I don't know, stage 2 tune and whatever. Like, I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to cars, but you get the point here. We're just going to help clients, like, just give them the bits that they need in order to succeed. We're still paid ads first as a business. It's still our methodology that we use for acquisition. All I'm saying is I'm realizing that this whole industry, all I'm saying, and the point in this video is, like, this entire space, if you look into what anybody that you probably look up to does, is they just further imbrick themselves into someone's business, because that's the only way to guarantee more success. Think someone like Iman, right? So I'm going to use Iman Ghatzi as an example. And again, I'm not going to use my affiliation with him if you want, as we do have a program together and I do offer calls in his monetized community. This is purely from what I see him doing from an outside standpoint, right? The guy first built the ad agency. Okay, some leverage in that model. And he was like, well, let me help others learn all the skill sets related to running an agency and in fact any online business. So I'm going to teach people sales. I'm going to show them what to do when it comes to e-commerce. I'm going to show them what to do when it comes to paid ads. I'm going to show them when it comes to do to the operations side of an agency. And so that, was the rise of Digital Launchpad as an example, which is like every single skill set you need to get yourself started in business. There you go, you have it. But we're still info. So what do you do next? Now he's got monetized. Hey, I will show you not only how to launch a digital product, but he has 2 software companies, Synthesize and Ghostwriter AI, which in both cases, I'm now giving you agents, because I know your bottleneck is even if I show you how to create an info product business, you will need help to contextualize that for you. So I've made different softwares to help you speak to AI agents, train on my knowledge to help you create a better digital product, to then help you create better marketing assets, and to help you create the entire program in the back end. So I'm helping you essentially do the marketing, the branding, and the actual product in itself. So now it's like the chances of the client succeeding is actually higher. But not only that, hey, I'm going to acquire your distribution platform and make that more readily available to you with WAP. So now you have the marketplace to sell your product on. You have the payment processor to process your payments on. I'm removing all the headaches possible for you to then face with payment, like disputes or any of that sort. And I'm giving you help with AI agents and softwares that I've built for you on how to create the product, market the product, and brand the product. Now I'm more like, this is what I would qualify an infrastructure instead of just like use case specific product or asset, right? Which was back then, say something like Educate, which was, I'm going to show you how to run an agency. Okay, but now I'm going to need so much more help so that, you either give me the help through more like coaches, which is pretty expensive, or you go up a market essentially and become more leveraged utilizing AI and this infrastructure, which is what he's done now at this point. And so the way this looks like for me, once again, is like we've built agents in workflows utilizing N8N and Supabase and Lovable as a front end, or Airtable as a front end as an example, to help our clients do market research, first wave of static ads, first wave of AI powered UGC ads within hours post onboarding at the absolute most. So that's one. AI appointment setting infrastructure is great. For clients needed in the info or coaching space, perfect. Deployed it within their business. Now again, sales help, we got it. Funnels help, we got it. CRM help, we got it. So the more integrated you become, the higher the chances of your clients are succeeding. And the reason why I'm so excited about that, since none of this here, in my opinion, is revolutionary at least, it's because so many of these pieces that I mentioned here are just becoming much more easy to implement with AI. And so what we're doing now is I'm really like stepping back and looking at our business and seeing what steps in our process can we either automate or have AI powered workflows to do to save our team time on a day-to-day basis, or just give clients so that they own the infrastructure at the end of the day. I think we're in this era where done for you isn't necessarily disappearing, so everyone will still want some level of done for you, but people are becoming much more knowledgeable in this online space. They want more so consulting, they want the help. And so that's why we've kind of pivoted to, yes, done for you, but also hybrid model. And Ad Engine has since surpassed, our agency as our core flagship offer as a part of that. And so bringing this all together, if there was one single takeaway I would get out of this video, if I was you, is if you're selling something that is use case specific, just know that you're doing this for the short term, and you should start stacking more pieces of the overall business puzzle in your offer to, one, give your clientele more chances at succeeding, and two, when doing so, you have to think about integrating AI into that said workflow to deploy infrastructures. Hence why there's guys like Serge Guattari out there in the space with build and release as an example, which is similar to what I'm talking about right here, which is I'm building something once and I'll release it into someone's business. So instead of having to yap about the same thing over and over again to every client, I'm going to put my brain into building this infrastructure one time and just give access to clients to it if that's what they need to fix their problems. But remember, to be good at this, you have to understand every piece of the puzzle. You have to understand offers, marketing, branding, funnels, sales, and to bring cohesiveness around all of this to know what to recommend in terms of infrastructures. So this is almost like a journal entry of me speaking to you about what I've seen like working in this space over the last few months. A lot of people have talked about the growth partner model, the growth infrastructure model. And so this kind of brings everything together. Like the truth is, just the simple fact is the more pieces of the offer or the business you control, the better your results are. So Do it in a way in which instead of having to customize this for everyone, you build it once and then you'll realize that there are so many commonalities across every info or coaching business or e-commerce businesses as an example, so that you can build a playbook that works for all. So if I'm an e-commerce brand owner, in my opinion, instead of building something just for my business, I can standardize processes for e-commerce brands, and I can more easily now than ever deploy many e-com brands at a time. If I'm an info product business owner, I can launch more offers. If I'm an agency owner, I can help more clients. And so this becomes immensely valuable for anyone in this space. And so I've kind of packaged all of this into what I now call Ad Engine AI, which essentially is our way in which to implement every single one of these infrastructures mentioned in this video based on what your business needs exactly. The link is going to be in the description for you if you want to join it today, and also happen to have me work one-on-one with you to review your paid ads, your funnels, offers, name it, and help you grow your business. And if you want us to do it completely for you, then check out a second link in the description below to book in a call with my team at paidadvertising.com today. So on that note, I'm going to wish you an amazing day. Do check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce and info product marketing tips, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.